Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new, thank you for stopping by. My name is David. Do check out some of my old material, and I got a lot of new stuff coming up too, so if you're interested, do subscribe. Normally this is my Sunday blog, so normally I would say, okay, it's March 16, 2014. This is my Sunday blog. This is what movies I'm watching this past week, what music I found interesting, comics and books I'm reading, video games I'm playing, but we're not going to do that this week, okay? This week, all we're going to do is talk about these two nerdy, geeky conventions I've been to this past weekend. The first one I went to was Planet Comicon in Kansas City, Missouri, and the other one is Naka-Kon in Overland Park, Kansas. Both of them were great. I had a lot of good time. I ran into a lot of old friends, met some new ones. I was taking videos and pictures of the whole event. A lot of people attended. A lot of people came in costumes and cosplay, and I came in. I dressed up myself for the event, and there were a lot of vendors. People were selling a lot of stuff, and I actually bought a lot of stuff myself. It was great. I had a lot of fun. Definitely worth checking out the next time it happens. Okay. So Planet Comicon. What I have to say about you guys? Awesome job, great job, okay? You obviously put in a lot of work, a lot of money, a lot of resources to make the event happen, and it shows. Naka-Kon, what happened? All I have to say is I'm very unimpressed. I know you guys have been around for years. This is my first Naka-Kon, and I wasn't impressed, okay? I wish I didn't experience what I experienced, okay? And I'll talk about that later on in the video. I've been to more than a dozen conventions in my life, and Naka-Kon was probably ranked as one of the worst I've ever been to, okay? I still had fun, though. I had a lot of good time. I ran into a lot of friends and stuff like that, but for the most part, you guys were just a complete disaster, at least the time when I was there, okay? So let's talk about Planet Comicon first, okay? I cosplayed as Indiana Jones for the first time I was there, and then I went as Wolverine. Okay, I don't want to wear my Wolverine mask right now because it's a little tight on my glasses. But this is the program that they had at Planet Comicon, and it's shaped like a comic book. Like it actually fits with your comic book collection. You know, take this. Take a look at this. Okay, look at that. This place was huge, man. This is a huge convention. Almost 200 to 300 vendors, booths. You know. And, yeah, a lot of space. I was very impressed with what they had. Look at all that. These are all the booths and tables and media guests and vendors that were there. A lot of good stuff. A lot of good stuff. And a lot of media guests, too. A lot of celebrities. First of all, William Shatner was there. William Shatner, the original Captain Kirk from the original Star Trek series, was there. He was signing autographs, taking pictures, meeting up with fans. I mean, if you're a big Star Trek fan, you should have went because they had this huge Star Trek spectacular show where half the Star Trek Next Generation cast was there. They were answering questions from fans. It was great, okay? The guy who played, LeVar Burton from Star Trek The Next Generation, Michael Dorn who played Worf on the show, Data, Riker, Will Wheaton was there. I mean, it was great. It was all hosted by William Shatner himself. If you don't know William Shatner, you probably would recognize him from those Priceline commercials or something, you know. Besides that, Margot Kidder, who played Lois Lane in the Superman movies, you know, the Christopher Reeve Superman movies, she was there. I actually met her previously in their previous convention. Daryl McDaniels, oh my gosh, one of the most influential faces in hip-hop history, who was one of the founders of Run DMC. He was there, too. He actually draws comics now. And I guess for me, one of the names probably for me would be David Yoss, who played the original Blue Ranger in Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. So yeah, a lot of good guests. There was other people too, like media guests. The guy from Walking Dead was there. Like it was great. Okay. For the entire time I was there, I pretty much was shopping and taking pictures of people in their cosplays. And it was funny because I went as Indiana Jones, and a lot of people went as Lara Croft. Like Lara Croft was one of the most popular cosplays that I saw this past year from the Tomb Raider series, you know. So I took pictures with like probably 3 or 4 Lara Crofts out there, and it's really cool because we're both like treasure hunters, you know. Indiana Jones and Lara Croft together, you know. So that was pretty cool, and I was shopping the entire time, digging for the Hero Clicks figures. You know, I collect the Hero Clicks figures for DC and Marvel. And it's pretty funny because it was Indiana Jones digging for treasure, you know. So it's pretty funny. And most of the souvenirs I did buy actually are part of this Harley Quinn collection that I have behind me. If you haven't checked out my Harley Quinn collection video, it's actually pretty funny because I actually dressed up as the Joker, and the Joker kidnapped me, you know, in the video. You gotta watch to understand it, okay, what I'm saying. So, but yeah, I had a pretty good time. I ran into a lot of old friends, met some new ones. One girl actually recognized me from last year. She was like, hey, were you the guy who dressed up as the Men in Black last year with your friend? I was like, oh my gosh, I can't believe she even recognized me, you know? So yeah, that was really flattering. I wonder if she has a Facebook. I gotta look her up. Because, you know, it's really flattering. It's that, obviously I left an impression on her last year, you know. But anyway, yeah, I had a great time. Planet Comicon was great, you know. The lighting was good. And, you know, everything was really organized. You know, there was only one way in. The line was huge. It was crowded. More people than last year, I would have to say. And it was great. I did run into my ex-girlfriend, by the way, and it was kind of awkward. And it shouldn't be, because the last thing we said to each other is that, hey, we should be friends, and then she pretty much cut me off, you know, and now, at the time when we broke up, you know, I was like, I really don't want to be friends, you know, this is really not a huge problem, it's a fixable problem, you know, what happened, right? But now, you know, I'm kind of seeing someone else, and I'd be fine being friends, but apparently that's not what she wants, you know. We knew the other person was there, but we didn't acknowledge each other, we didn't look at each other. Yeah, so that was pretty awkward, but for the most part, I still had fun. I still had a great time going to Planet Comicon. Definitely looking forward to next year. Definitely looking forward to what cosplay I would choose next year, because you gotta think about what's popular, you know, and then go as something that other people would go and then be part of the group. Actually, when I was Wolverine, we actually got into a huge group picture where it was like Deadpool and we had who was his name? Spider-Man. I don't know how I could forget Spider-Man, but yeah, all these Marvel characters, we all got together into one group picture. And if you saw my video, I actually uploaded a video already, where a montage video set to music of me standing with all the other cosplayers and people waving at the camera and stuff like that. It was pretty cool. If you haven't checked out that video, do check it out. So yeah, I had a great time. I had a great time at Planet Comicon. Not much complaints there. Okay. One thing I can complain about is that, and this is my fault really, I just got bored. You know, I just got bored after a while. You know, after a while I was just standing around and just you know, I'm done shopping. And when you go to these conventions, you have to say to yourself, okay, this is the most money I'm going to spend. Well, I spent that much money already on souvenirs and buying stuff for this collection and stuff like that. And I just I was done. So I kind of left early. I didn't want to, but yeah, Planet Comicon. Next year, I'm definitely going again. Okay. Let's change the scenery a little bit. Okay. I'm sure you're tired of looking at the Harley Quinn collection. Here, we're gonna move right there. Okay. DVD collection now. And when I went to Naka-Kon, I went as Eric Cartman from South Park and Pikachu. Okay, I actually bought this hat like the morning of. I was like, okay, I got a yellow shirt. I got these dishwashing gloves that were yellow. I was like, okay, I'm going as Pikachu for Naka-Kon. So, Naka-Kon, I'll be honest with you, it was a complete utter mess. It was a complete disaster, absolutely ridiculous. When I walked in there, nothing was organized. People were running everywhere. You know, on Black Friday when, you know, originally the line was like this, and then later on it's like the line's, you know, big crowds, and then it goes in the door. That's what it was. It was just a huge, everyone was crowded, there was no line when I was there. Remember that, okay? It was just a huge, huge mess. And here's the big thing. This is the big thing. What I witnessed was unacceptable, man. The security guards or security volunteers, or whoever, I assume they were volunteers. The people they have security on their shirts, okay? They're having these orange shirts and they're walking around. Worst volunteers on the face of the planet, man. They weren't doing their job at all. I saw, and I got video evidence of this, by the way, 7 to 8 people standing in one corner, okay? And they were just talking to each other. Hey, we got into Naka-Kon for free, you know, because we were volunteers, or whatever. I don't know what they were talking about. I saw them playing paper, rock, scissors at one point, too. They weren't doing their job. There was one lady that actually stood up and actually did something about the huge crowds. They was like, okay, everyone get into one straight line. And that was the most impressive thing that I saw the entire day concerning the workers there, okay? The people that worked there, the volunteered there, horrible job, okay? And because of that, I actually witnessed people stealing, people sneaking in. I feel sorry for the vendors at Naka-Kon, man, because people were literally taking stuff from them, and it was just a huge mess. A complete disaster, man. Now, this has to be addressed. I know there's a lot of people out there who are probably saying, oh, David, you're over-exaggerating. When I went to Naka-Kon, it wasn't that bad. And look, when I went on my Facebook, okay, there are people commenting on each other's statuses saying, how is Naka-Kon? Was Naka-Kon as bad as last year? Like, I can't imagine. If this year was actually an improvement of last year, I can't imagine what last year must have been like, okay? Because apparently this was not their first unorganized event. Okay, when or if I go to Naka-Kon next year, this is what I want to see. I hope that the people who are in charge of Naka-Kon are actually watching this video. Get some more competent people on your staff, volunteers, whatever, you know? Because this year, too many people are screwing around when they should be working, okay? Tell them that it's not just fun and games, that they actually have to be responsible because they're actually part of the staff of Naka-Kon. They need to keep things under control. One really good thing I have to say about Naka-Kon, free parking. Yeah, when I went to Planet Comicon up in Kansas City, it was like $7 to $10 for parking. Ridiculous, man. So when I saw that Naka-Kon has free parking, oh my gosh, it was like, thank you, you know? Now, I've said this before, and I'll say it again. There's too many people out there who are just so biased, I guess is the best word for it. Naka-Kon fanboys is what I call them. These are the people who refuse to go to Planet Comicon, not for money issues, but because they're such huge fanboys of Naka-Kon, you know? Planet Comicon was bigger, a lot more vendors, a lot more eyes to take a look at their cosplay. Like, they can just wear the same cosplay that they wore at Naka-Kon, go to Planet Comicon, fit right in. But no, they're like, oh, we gotta spend all day, all 3 days at Naka-Kon, because that's what our group does ever since Naka-Kon has existed. And I can't imagine anyone, like, unless you want to attend a panel, okay, that's scheduled at a specific time. For me, I spent all day there, but after about, 2-3 hours, I was done. I was like, I saw everything. But beyond that, it was the crowds were amazing. Okay, a lot of people attended. Obviously, a lot more people dressed up in cosplay at Naka-Kon than they did at Planet Comicon. Okay, Planet Comicon, I would have to say there was more people attended, but less people wore cosplay. And I was there mainly for the cosplay. A lot of people wore costumes and stuff like that. And you know, I was very impressed with the amount of people there that actually dressed up in cosplay. And that's another thing. You see a lot more older people going to Planet Comicon. Naka-Kon was mainly young people. Okay, young people who were into the animated and cartoons and stuff like that. They were the main people that attended Planet Naka-Kon. Planet Comicon was like people from all around, you know, where they were into not just movies and comics, but also like just pop culture in general, you know. So yeah. That's what I have to say about that. Ran into some friends, ran into my sister's friends, they were there. Ran into some friends I met in previous conventions, they were there also. I had a lot of good time. I didn't really buy anything at Naka-Kon. Got some food, but that's pretty much about it when it comes to Naka-Kon. I enjoyed it for the most part, but I'm just very unimpressed with how they just handled the situation. Naka-Kon has been around since 2005, and they should be learning each year on how to handle things. Okay, I heard that the ownership of who's hosting has changed throughout the years, and obviously it looked like someone. The first thing when I walked into the thing is that obviously this was they didn't spend a lot of money on this event. You know, it's probably like a lot of fans getting together and making this one event, which incidentally it was. I went to the website and it was like this was done by volunteers who got together to make this event happen. Like that's what it said on the website, and obviously that showed. You know, Planet Comicon, they actually hired actual security guards and stuff like that, so they actually knew what they're. And there was one entrance. Here's another thing: people were sneaking in. It was so easy to sneak into Naka-Kon because there was like four different entrances into the building. You know, and it was crazy because also the ticket counter was in the middle of it was upstairs in the middle. Like down here, there are panels and stuff like that going on. Over here, there are panels and rooms, and people were just everywhere, man. People were everywhere. But this was not the worst anime convention that I've been to. Motaku was. Motaku, which happened like 5 or 6... I wouldn't be surprised if it's run by the same people, or at least, you know, there's an overlap of run by the same people, you know. Maybe not run, meaning not run by the same people, but they're friends of each other, you know what I mean? Motaku was absolutely ridiculous. Actually, let's change the scenery again. We'll move over here. Okay. to the video game collection that you'll see behind me right here. Motaku. Oh my gosh. 5 or 6 months ago, my friend and I went to Motaku, right? So we went inside, and when we walked inside the building, we saw a bunch of tables and vendors and stuff like that already. We said, okay, this is a lot of stuff. A lot of people are walking around and getting their cosplays and stuff like that. I said, oh my gosh, if this is what it looks like out here, imagine what we look like inside, you know? And we were looking for the place to pay for our tickets, you know, because it was like $30 admission and stuff like that. We were looking for the ticket counter, you know, the admissions. And we were asking them, what's going on? And we walked around for probably like 45 minutes to an hour. And we're like, okay, we got to get inside to where the real event is. Because it can't be all this, you know. And we asked one of the guys who were working there. One of the guys who were working at Motaku, one of the volunteers, whatever, right? And we're like, hey, where do we get our admissions? He was like, what are you talking about? You're already inside. And we looked at each other and we're like, what the heck? So the entire time we were actually inside. We snuck in to Motaku without even knowing it. And we walked around for probably an hour. We saw everything pretty much. We took pictures with cosplayers. We looked at the vendors. We actually bought a couple things. And the entire time, we were supposed to pay for admission. So the guy who was working there was really cool. He was like, oh, you guys, is right now, I'll let you follow me, and I'll show you where you get your tickets. But we've already been there. We saw everything. So you know what we did? We just left. We just left right after that hour of at Motaku. Because we were inside the whole time. We thought there was going to be more, you know, and there wasn't. That we were it. That we were inside. So that was ridiculous. And Naka-Kon was even worse. Like, it's easier. I'll be honest. It's easier to sneak into Naka-Kon than it was to Motaku. What the heck? Like, what planet does this? Do they allow this to happen? You know, Naka-Kon's been around for years, and this is what happened. People were stealing. People were sneaking in. What the heck? Okay, so. Sure, I'll come back next year to support you guys, but you got to do something about your security. You got to do something about your staff. I understand that you guys are a bunch of volunteers, and that's completely ran by volunteers. But when you're volunteering, you make sure they're committed. You know, I know for a fact because the security people were actually talking to each other. Hey, we can't let any more people sneak in. We got some more people sneaking in. So it's a fact. You know, I'm not making this up. It's a fact that is happening. Okay. So yeah, that was Planet Comicon and Naka-Kon and a little bit of Motaku. That's what happened. Okay, I for the most part, I had a good time. I had a good time. Ran into a lot of new friends, old friends. It was great. Okay, so if you guys actually went to Motaku, Naka-Kon, and Planet Comicon, and we ran into each other, or you just want to add me as a friend just because I'm a fellow cosplayer and a fellow con goer. Feel free to add me, okay? I have Instagram, I got Twitter, I got Facebook. Just add me, subscribe to me on here. We'll keep it here updated, and we'll meet up in the future, okay? So that's all I have to say. Thank you for watching. Rate, favorite, subscribe, and hopefully see you guys in the future, okay? Talk to you guys later. Bye.